arena, our great nation is divided. State against state, mate against mate. But no matter where we come from, we can agree on one thing. Our taxis suck. Here in Victoria,
Melbourne Comedy Festival tickets for sale.
by 2011, complaints about taxis had reached 5,000 per year, and barely more than half of people who took a taxi were satisfied with the service. In Sydney,
Apartments with harbour views.
there's even more dissatisfaction, with a record 12,675 complaints registered in 2012.
Did I mention the harbour?
You did. Outside Adelaide,
Go the Adelaide Crows?
some suburbs struggle to book a taxi at all. And it's even worse if you're a driver. Driving a cab is one of the most dangerous and poorly paid jobs in Australia. Tell me about it. Many cabbies earn less than 29 grand a year for full-time, 12 hours a day work, with no holiday pay, no sick pay, no super. And it's not just drivers and passengers who think the taxi industry's got big problems. There have been many attempts over the last 20 years to reform the taxi industry. The 1994 Industry Commission report, the 1999 Productivity Commission report, the 2000 National Competition Council review, the 2003 Perth Taxi Industry review. Can we listen to the radio instead?
For PM, this is Mark Colvin. The 2007 OECD Deregulation of the Taxi Industry Summary Statement. The 2010 inquiry.
But despite all that effort to improve taxi services, very little has changed. Especially that 10% surcharge when you pay by card. That was invented by CabCharge. And just listen to these rave reviews.
Professor Alan Fells called it extremely high. MasterCard says it's just to pad out CabCharge's bottom line. In 2012, Choice named it Shonky of the Year. And this is how CabCharge responded to calls for it to be halved to 5%.
I'd say bugger it. If that's what you want, you can all go back to cash.
That charge costs Aussies around $90 million a year. And one of the reasons is because for a long time there was no alternative, with some claiming CabCharge uses strong-arm tactics.
Strong-arm tactics? Who said that?
In fact, in 2010, the ACCC fined CabCharge a record $15 million for abuse of market power. Some things have changed since then, but CabCharge's market power isn't one of them. If you're after a taxi in a city like Sydney, it looks like you have a choice of cab companies. But more than 90% of the cabs are controlled by companies with a strong allegiance to CabCharge. Taxi licence plates are worth around $400,000 each. Guess who controls how they're leased and lobbies the government to keep the number of them limited? The taxi equipment fit-outs, the insurers. CabCharge's fingerprints are everywhere, even places you'd least expect. Ever seen this ad?
Book, ride and arrive the safer way with the New South Wales Taxi Council app. Supported by Crime Stoppers for a safer community.
Go to their website and you'll see these super safe apps are almost all affiliated with CabCharge. Maybe that's because the director of New South Wales Crime Stoppers, Tracy Kane, who brought the Safe Taxi Apps campaign to Crime Stoppers, is also a spokesperson for the New South Wales Taxi Council and CabCharge.
They're everywhere. Can't you see? Somebody's going to tell the government. No!
CabCharge has a history of hefty political donations to both sides of politics. The Taxi Council would even send scotch to the Transport Ministry at Christmas.
I'll stop you right there. It's true that CabCharge values democracy, like all socially responsible companies, but the suggestion that this money gets you anything whatsoever is absolutely false. Thanks.
And how is this CabCharge dominance working out for us? In 2003, confidential reports showed that 4 out of 5 CabCharge-affiliated cab companies were failing this mandated standard, some by more than 20%. So So, what did they do? Improve their customer service? No, the rules about performance statistics were changed to make the same performance look better. And by 2010, only 9 million out of 14 million cab bookings actually showed up. Although that is according to CabCharge's competitors.
Competitors? We have competitors?
Competition started with the emergence of non-CabCharge payment systems like GM Cabs and Live Payment. Not that it stopped the 10% fee. Here, use this one, darling. But the drivers get a bigger cut. And I'm not your darling. Other ways of booking cabs are also emerging in the form of phone apps.
Next available!
InGoGo, GoCatch, Uber, apps like these bypass traditional radio booking networks. Their fees can be lower. With GoCatch, if you pay by credit card, you'll be charged a 7.5% fee, with 3% going to the driver, while Uber doesn't charge a fee at all. And in the unlikely event that a taxi driver's a bit of a freak, on apps like GoCatch, people can give them a negative review. So you can see what others have said about your cab driver before you even get in the taxi. The taxi lobby isn't so convinced, putting out this photo suggesting the new apps would make Sydney look like Kampala, Uganda.
At least in Kampala, you can get a taxi.
It's not just apps making changes. In Victoria, the state government has managed to make some key reforms, following the advice of Professor Alan Fells. Since the 1st of February, Victorians only pay 5% fees on their card transactions. And they've relaxed the rules for hire cars in the hope that it will create more competition for taxis. It's not clear yet what will happen with the rest of the Fells recommendations.
Ooh, tram!
But taxi users everywhere will be watching Victoria and possibly hiring Victorian cabs themselves.
That didn't work out to be cheaper.
And stay tuned, because if you think waiting for a cab takes a long time, the wait for taxi reform's even worse. Isn't that right? Oh.